What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Not a Pookie podcast right here on the Black Non-Democrat channel. And this is where masculinity takes back its natural throne, baby. I appreciate you guys coming to the show today. And please, like always, if you're coming into my house, even for just a hot second, just to see what the topic is, please make sure you smash that like button. Smash that like button. It doesn't take anything but bam, right there. There you go. I hope you guys had a great week. I've been up here every day since Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and now Saturday. And I'm getting very used to getting up here, talking to you guys, interacting with you guys on the evolution of this channel. We just hit 3,000 subscribers this week. Our next checkpoint is hopefully 5,000 subscribers within the next month. That means that you guys got to start sharing these videos. You got to start word of mouth in this. You got to go on your YouTube, go on your Instagram, go on your Twitter, go on any place you can put this link. This freaking link of the Black Non-Democrat, baby. Please just post it. Post it and leave it. Like Set It and Forget It back in the day, me and my brother, we was in college together, right? And the Emerald, the chef, he put that Set It and Forget It out there. No, it wasn't Emerald, it was another chef. But that Set It and Forget It little oven, and you just put it in there, and you set the time, and you just forget it. Me and my brother will roll out, go get something to drink, go chill with the white boys, scare the shit out of them, because I'm going to tell y'all one story. I'm going to tell y'all a story before we get started. We were at his apartment, right? And it was some white boys upstairs. They lived upstairs. It was like a campus apartment, like not a dorm, but apartment for students at the college. So these white boys was upstairs, right? White college kids from Charlotte, because I went to Barber Scotia and then John C. Smith, but I went to Barber Scotia at the time, and shout out to all the people who know about Barber Scotia College and Johnson C. Smith. But these white boys were from Charlotte or whatever, the college. So they were up there and they were talking big shit, and we made it seem as if we were white. We was like, fuck you guys. They were like, fuck you. We was like, fuck you, you motherfucker. All that. They thought we were white. So they was like, come up here, we'll kick your ass. I was like, all right. We went up there. They opened the door. They seen that we were black. Whole demeanor changed. Whole demeanor just changed, man. They was like, oh, brother, what's up, brother? What's up? We like, what y'all was saying out there? They was like, oh, nah, man, we're cool. We're cool. Where you guys are from? We was like, we from D.C. They was like, oh, well, I'm from Baltimore. I was like, all right. We went in there and drank all their beer. They just gave us their beer. And guess what was on the fucking wall? A big-ass Confederate flag. I know for a fact that they were embarrassed and they felt very, 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 very uncomfortable with a couple of black dudes up in there with the damn Confederate flag and drinking all their beer. But anyway, I just wanted to get that story out there. I hope that you guys did have a good week, and we're gonna round this week off to, and I believe this is the fourth show of the podcast, this newly invented podcast that I just started this week. It's called Not a Pookie Podcast, and I'm letting you guys know that all of the playback episodes of the lives will be gone this evening, because I am literally editing those. When I get off of this show, I'm editing part one, episode 1, 2, and 3. I'm editing those up and putting them on the podcast tab on the channel. So please, if you guys want to watch all episodes of the Not a Pookie podcast, please make sure you go over to the podcast tab. Matter of fact, it'll be right there on the homepage for you guys. If you guys want to watch any of the playbacks, or you can't make the lives, you know what I mean? Some people can't make the lives, some people can't stay the whole live, but they still want to see what's going on. So everything will be converted into podcast form over on the podcast tab. Now, on today's show, we're going to be talking about black women and why they are not respected, why people don't take them seriously. And the reason why they are not being taken seriously is because it's not because all of them are like this. Okay, we don't really have to specify all people. I really think we shouldn't do that, because if we do that, we'll be here all day. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know what I'm talking about. Hit dogs holler. I am not saying all black women are like this, but when I say it's a plague or like a virus, it affects all black women though, because my little daughters, 19, 14, and 9, they're going to have to go out into the world, you guys. They're going to have to go to school. They're going to have to go to work. They're going to have to go to the beach. They're going to have to get on a plane. They're going to have to go to the store. And guess what majority of people are going to think when they see my little girls, who are raised in a 2-parent household, who are loved all their life, who understand that they just not going to do anything for a man, who understand that their body is their temple, and who understands that their decision making literally will make or break a situation, life or death, when it comes to babies, having children, who to pick, blah, blah, blah. JQ is in the building always first, baby, to speak. Appreciate you coming through. But my daughters have to deal with how black women are viewed in this country. And they have to work twice as hard. They got to convince you that they ain't Suki. They got to convince you that they ain't Amber Rose. They got to convince you that they ain't Cardi B. They got to convince you that they ain't all of these ratchet chicks out here with millions of followers. Yes, Suki has millions of followers. And the 2 videos that we're going to focus on today is showing you how she affects these girls, these regular girls, these women that just work at a damn fast food joint. This woman don't know these women, but she touches them, and they look up to her, and they worship this woman. So don't sit up here and say, not all, not all, not all. Yes, not all. No, I can't say all. But what I can say is it affects all. My daughters are going to have to push through that. My daughters are going to have to go to these interviews for jobs. And they're going to have to, just like black people as a whole, we have to work hard. We have to work twice as hard. A woman have to work twice as hard. Now my daughters don't only got to worry about being black. They got to worry about being a woman, and then they got to worry about being a black woman, and then they got to worry about being a woman that's looked at as being ratchet. And now you got to claw your way. So it's fourfold for them. You see? And they're not like that. They're the most sweetest little girls, man. They're the most sweetest girls. And if you guys are just coming in here, please make sure that you tap that like button. But the thing is, what you guys are going to see on this first video is what black women like Suki and her friend there is willing to do to gain attention. We already know that Suki is just out here just wanting attention. But this rapper guy, I don't know his name because I don't look at these new rappers like that. But I seen this picture about 2 months ago. you know, and she tried to explain this shit on the Breakfast Club and her other interviews, but no, shorty, you got on your motherfucking knees, and they tell us we treat them like shit. They tell us we treat them like slaves. We ain't slaves. We liberated women. And Suki was just on a interview talking about, yeah, I'm very conscious. No, you're not conscious, because you can't even understand what you are portraying in this here video. Y'all ever heard of ghetto gaggers? These black women go up to these porno productions and just get the most egregious shit done to them, man. And they tell us that we're Pookie and Ray Ray, the regular guys, that they overlook. You see? They tell us that we ain't shit. They tell us that we disrespect them. That's what they tell us. They say we subject them, sexually subject them. I tell people this, look, whatever you allow to happen to you, you allow that to happen to you. I got a friend at work, man, old head cat. He gets trampled on by women. Like he's just afraid of women. Love that guy, man. Know him for almost 20 years. But he's a beta male. He's a simp. And he's genuinely scared of women. And I watched this. And the first about, 8 years of knowing him, I'm like, I feel sorry for him. I'm like, wow, man, why they gotta treat him like that? And then I just had to come to the realization that, bro, you put your balls on the table when you come in here. It's your fault. I don't blame these women anymore because you do this to yourself, bruh. And he's gonna blow up one day. He's gonna fucking blow up and smack shit out of one of them one day. But at the end of the day, I see this happen, and you gotta be like, it's your fault. So when these women are sitting up here saying, we ain't sexual like that, y'all know that you are. You are. Because of this right here.
Yo, this is Goldie.
Keep the space, guys. Help us keep the space.
So you willing to get on your knees, put a lime green weave in your hair, and let this rapper dude grab it and walk you like a dog. Walk you like a dog. That's what you willing to do. When they say, when she came up to his video, that is the idea that he had. And she said, okay, not only her, but the other chick.
Guys, watch the main camera away.
And look at all the rest of the black women around there. Just shaking ass and not giving a fuck. That's what we do. They're expected. People expect us to do that. Like I told you guys on the show yesterday. These chicks, you ask them for a picture, they turn around. They just, oh, you want a picture? That is a picture to them. That is taking a picture with a random black chick. They turn around. I seen this dude. His whole shtick, his whole niche. And I sat there for about 10 minutes watching this guy, and I might just do a video on him. This guy goes around to all black women and asks them how I look. And then y'all probably know who I'm talking about. He asked them how I look. My clothes look good. And they like, yeah, you fly. And he say, turn around for me. And they just turn around. And when he say turn around, majority of them just shake their ass. They just turn around and just shake their ass. And I'm like, it's like a mechanism that it's like, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Raw Bond is in the building. What's up with you, Miss Raw? She was in here yesterday. Appreciate you coming back. Told you guys I remember you, man. She's saying these young ladies have been misguided. This is not the move. I agree wholeheartedly. And who's guiding them is people like Sukihana, aka Suki with the good coochie that got over 1 million followers. You see? But look at this.
Energy, girls, energy in the back, come on!
And they so like, ooh, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. But like I said, that guy, he just go, and he just asked them, can I touch it? Can I touch it? And 100, nah, because it was this one woman, she said no. So 99.9% of these women he asked to touch their ass, they said, yeah, go ahead. I will never do it. I will never do that. Because they can just turn that fucking shit around on me, man. Polite Citizen is in the building. Appreciate you coming through. He says, the culture is doomed. There is no coming back from this. No, it's not. It's no coming back. You're absolutely right. That's why I say, we got to get these youngins, Ra said the other day, she was like, she got kids. And she teach them that, responsibility and accountability goes a long way. We have to start getting to these children to even have an iota of change in the air. You see what I mean? But this is why they are not respected. This is why my daughters are not going to get respected. This is why my daughters are not going to be taken seriously.
Wow, having a fucking great time! Walk! Brush your knees! You're gonna be itching at your knees! Brush your knees!
This is exactly why they are not going to get taken seriously, you guys. And I'm not here to bash women. I ain't got time to do that. My time is limited. Ross said, my 6 and 9-year-old have been taught that this behavior is inappropriate. I've been wanting to, talk to single mothers. I talk about them and I talk about single motherhood a lot. So, anybody, Raw, whoever, want to, just come tell their story. And I used to, or when I first started to, put the sentiment out there that I wanted y'all to come on the show, I did something that I'm gonna say, was the wrong approach. I was saying, come up here and debate me now. Nah, I don't want that. Because I don't want to intimidate you guys. And, I don't talk to specific single mothers. You know what I mean? I don't talk about you. I talk about the pushing and glorification of single motherhood on to our community. You see? So I will go hard at the ideology of single motherhood. You see me go hard at the ideology of single motherhood, but individual single mothers are just the byproduct of what I go hard at. And sometimes they come off unruly. Sometimes they come off saying I'm bashing them because I'm going at single motherhood. So they then internalize themselves in the critique of single motherhood. And they make the mistake that I'm going at them. You see? So I appreciate people like Ra coming in saying that, she has kids and she's a single mother, but she still understand that the single motherhood, the ideology is not conducive for our community. So I would like to talk to and have a conversation and get in the mind of single mothers, why they decided to have that baby, why they decided to have that next baby, why. But I do not condone victimhood when it comes to your decision making, because I've made fucked up decisions in my life that I have to deal with till this day, and no one feels sorry for me at all. Okay? But I'm going to show you guys a video because today is all about the non-ratchet black women, or the women that condone the behavior that makes the behavior unacceptable. You see? Now, Suki, I'm going to set this up. Suki was at a drive-thru, and now I watched this whole thing. And if you guys are in here, please make sure that you hit that like button. Please, please, please. Polite Citizen says, I've recently matched on Hinge. I don't know what Hinge is. Was that a dating thing? With a black woman. She was easy, 9'10". She asked if I was a nerd and made a bunch of posts about her POOKIE past. More excited for 7 to 10 white women, barely aroused by black women anymore. Damn. Woo. See, when you hear a black man talk like that, they think that, you know, he's throwing his woman under the bus or throwing black women under the bus. That's the narrative that they like to spew. But he started off with an experience that led him to be like, you know what? That shit turns me off. If I have a bunch of bad apples that I'm eating, and I just keep trying these apples, I'm like, damn, sour. Now, say I ate 10. Just say I ate 10. The next 10 could be great apples. But after that 10th apple, I'm sorry. I'm not going to eat anymore. I'm going to go on to some oranges. Something totally different. You see what I mean? But they will say, you don't like apples. Nah, it ain't, oh, you trying to throw our apples under the bus. Nah, I just had experience with some 10 fucked up apples. So I'm taking my talents to South Beach. You know what I'm saying? On some LeBron shit, you know? Appreciate that, my brother. Ra. I love that you guys donate. I love it. Trust me. The reason I started asking for donations is because of this. My man, I forget his name. Matter of fact, I'm not even gonna disrespect that man like that. I think his name was, let me see. My man Ricardo Areola. Shout out to Ricardo. He hit me up about 2 months ago and he said, bro, what's your Cash App, man? What's your Cash App? And I haven't asked anybody for any donations yet, right? So I was like, you know, I'm gonna go ahead. Now I do graphic design as well, you know, so I do got a Cash App. So I was like, all right, you can Cash App me. So he Cash Apped me $50. I was like, whoa. Wow, like I love doing this. I love doing this commentary. I've been doing this for 8 years. I just started getting traction, you guys know, in the last couple of months, you know. So it's still new to me that people will actually give me money for me speaking my mind, you know. So I was like, damn, $50. Whoa, shit. It seemed like it was free, but it wasn't. I do damn hard work on this channel. But when you're having fun and doing work and it don't seem like work. So when they donate, I was like, all right, he was like, man, you need to, you know, just go ahead and put that out there. So I put the donation out there, right? The donation thing out there. I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm gonna ask because I do a lot on this channel. Everything you see is done by me. I mean, from the graphics to the topics to the thumbnails to everything. And I ask people to send it to that Cash App though, Miss Ra. It's cool that you put it in there, that super chat. And, you know, see, the super chat, YouTube, I'll probably go get $2 of that. You know what I mean? I'm probably going to get $2 of that. And YouTube gets all of it. And I don't think YouTube should get nothing because they provide the platform and I'm giving them business by being on here on their platform. So it's a lot of people, and the way they do our money is just we get pennies on the dollar. So I'd rather you send it to the Cash App, Dutch the Creator. But let me tell you something about that $2 that I am gonna get. I'm gonna put it to the production of this channel. That's what I'm gonna do, and your $2 is always gonna be welcome here. I don't care if it's $1, $2, $3, $4. Just send it to the Cash App. Don't send it to YouTube, because YouTube is literally they are tearing these content creators up, baby. But I appreciate that. But Ra, I'm gonna read this first. She's saying, I love your channel. I am married for over 10 years. I'm so sorry. I took you as a single mother. Oh my God. I need to beat myself up. But you can't blame me, because it's hard to find a married woman out here. It's hard to find a woman out here without kids. But I am so glad that you specified and clarified that. She said, I love your channel. I am married for 10 years. I'm 13 years in myself. But I have watched my friends struggle. Women in my family push for me to marry and stay married. Ooh, let's give it up for Ra. Let's give it up for Ra, baby. That's what I love. I love to hear that, man. And go ahead. There she go. She put $5 on it. Go get $2 of that. But she said, please keep the education coming, sir. I don't know what channel you came on from, but if you're on the Black Non-Democrat channel, go subscribe to Dutch the Creator channel as well. And then if you're coming in from the Dutch the Creator channel, please go over and subscribe to the Black Non-Democrat. Now, I'm always live on both channels, but both channels are me. It's just different formats. On this channel, or the Black Non-Democrat channel, I fight against the single motherhood, the pushing and glorification of the single motherhood by the Democratic Party. On my Dutch the Creator channel, I do more video analysis there, where I'm talking about straight up red pill analysis shit. Like, we need to, start understanding men's roles in our community. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. But on this video, we're going to see Sukihana just at a random drive-through. And she's going to come in contact with somebody or some women, and they are going to have a interesting interaction that I wanted to show you guys, okay? I'm going to try to not jump in as much, but when I see something, y'all know me, I'm going to go in. And if you don't like it, please, you can go look at this video. Again, you can go look at this video on YouTube, just like I pulled it from YouTube. Let's go, people.
Before I get on the road,
I want a fish fillet.
Why is you yelling in my ear, bro? You can get a fish fillet, but you ain't got to.
Can I get a fish fillet? Girl, how's I'm yelling in your
Stop
ear?
yelling in my ear, bro.
Girl, who the fuck is you?
All right. I think I titled this very well. I think I titled this show, like, I've came out the pocket with some great titles in my day, you guys. I have. I'm sorry. I have came out the pocket with some amazing title. I'm title king out here, right? The reason black women are not taken seriously. Now, you got two black women who don't know each other. One works at an establishment that at her job, and one is a famous ratchet person because she's ratchet. That's why she's famous, right? They interact. She said, "Stop yelling, bruh." Not, "Hey, welcome to Wendy's," or whatever. "How may I help you?" And Sukihana, "I want some packet blossom." Not, "Hey, Can I get a number one? You know, like it listen to the interaction of black women that don't even know each other. Oh man. My man Jay is in the building. Hey, Jay's rants and reaction is in the building. Appreciate you coming through. Say somebody send me asteroid already. Oh man, I'm trying to tell you guys this is hilarious. This is why they are not. This is why my daughters are not going to get respected off break. I'm trying to tell you. They're going to think that they are them. But listen to the interaction between black woman and black woman.
I want to fish fillet.
Why is you yelling in my ear, bro? You can get a fish fillet, but you ain't got to.
Can I get a fish fillet? Girl, how's I'm yelling in
Stop
your ear?
yelling in my ear, bro.
Girl, who the fuck is you? Let me get a motherfucking fish fillet with some sperm. Can I get some sperm on the side?
Nah, you ain't getting nothing, bro. Pull out.
Just some ghetto ass shit. Like, who the fuck is you put up on that hoe?
Bam.
Yeah, bye, bitch. Bye.
You gotta pull around so she can see.
Hey man. If y'all wanna, I told you guys I never hog the mic here. I never hog the mic. If y'all wanna come up and say something, please do. Please do. Polite citizen said, I wanna laugh, but I know too much. I see Arabs, Indians, Chinese, etc. come to this country, and within 5 years, their bottom 10% are better than our top. Damn. Like always, my man, Polite Citizen, is going to grace us with his presence. What's good, my man? What's good?
Doing good, doing good. Your panel's looking very good, man. Yeah, it looks different. This looks phenomenal.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I told y'all, when I put my mind into it, I does it. And you know, the logo is coming soon. The logo is coming soon. POOKIE, not a POOKIE podcast. What's up, my brother? What's up?
Yeah, more to the topic. What I find fascinating about this situation is, I'm going to repeat what I just said in that comment. Is living in a country where the area of the country that I live in is very diverse. Mm-hmm. You see Indians, Arabs, Chinese people, like various kinds of like Sri Lankans or whatever. Mm-hmm. When they come to this country, the bottom 10% of their population does better than the top % of our population. For us, a lot of us are so we're so used to to just kind of accepting our role in the society that even just saying that it really doesn't resonate. It really doesn't hit hard. But just, I want everybody who's listening to really just take a second and really think about how absurd that is. Their bottom 10% being better than our top 10%. They're class of people who work like the minimum wage jobs or like bus driving or like jobs that really aren't glamorous. They're still able to buy big homes. They're still able to live very well. They're still able to raise kids to go on to be like very productive in this society, regardless of what it is that they do. Their jobs really don't matter just because they're so functional. Right. But it's just, their bottom 10% being better than our top 10%. That's depressing.
It is, man. And I try to tell people that if you guys look at our current black woman, they lose in every category. They lose in parenting. They lose in marriage. They lose in, having children out of wedlock. They lose in STDs. They lose in education, even though they want to always tout that they are the most educated. No, Tommy Sotomayor debunked that shit years ago where he said they're the most enrolled in like DeVry or something. You know what I mean? And they just don't understand how they look out here. And that's why I really entitled this episode this. The reason black women are not taken seriously. And they don't even understand, they don't even have the wherewithal of how they're looking. Now, I could say it's cognitive dissonance, but I can't. Because they're not even cognitive of what they're doing. They think what they're doing and their behavior and how they act is, I seen this meme earlier and it just ticked me off. It said, you said she reacted in a black girl attitude, but you ain't asked what got her there, what you said to get her there. But the thing is, you can't, and I say this, and everybody knows what I say. You cannot change or control someone what they do to you. You know what I mean? But you can control how you respond. And that's what they don't get. I swear, I know exactly how a black woman is going to act if I go up to her and say, "You fucking bitch." Now, that's vulgar, right? And most people are like, "Whoa, what the fuck is you?" But I can critique and almost predict how they're going to act. And that's scary. You see what I mean? I'm talking about from the one who's making the most money, the most educated one, and like you said, in other cultures, their worst is our best. So at the end of the day, the highest of the high of us is going to relate and always act like the one that's low. Do you see what I'm saying, polite citizen?
Exactly, spot on. Like the fact that we don't have the same kind of class stratification that other cultures do. When you look at the black community, what we have is an overgrowth of what should be a subculture, what should be our low class, what should be our I don't want to use the term garbage because no human being is garbage, but our kind of anti-social class, our low class is now the majority. If you look at the white community, they have a better class stratification. So you have high class whites versus low class whites. But if you look at very high functioning cultures like the Chinese and Arabs, how many silly Chinese people have you ever seen in your life ever?
But they do exist, though. That's what I'm saying. They exist, but they don't prop them up. Like, exactly. Have you ever heard of a strong white woman?
No.
And I told this before, and if you guys watch Hollywood and how Hollywood try to portray these shit, just like that 1001 movie with Tiana Taylor and shit, where, they always praise the single black mother in these movies, right? They always praise them. Oh, she's strong. Oh, she's going to get her kid, like in Losing Isaiah with Halle Berry back in the day. Yes, I dated myself, and I am about to be 40 next year. But at the end of the day, they always now watch, and I want y'all to go do this test. Just go do the test and see for yourself. If you go and look at any shows, any movies, you will always see them propping up the single black woman as being a queen, as being strong, right? But go to all of the movies and shows where the single mother is white, they always shit on her in the movie. They always have the narrative being she's a fucking bitch, she hates her children, and these kids want to get away from her. They don't even, they make the white single mother look like shit, but they make the black single mother look like goddesses in these movies. Do you notice that in this entertainment business, polite citizen?
Yeah, I do notice that. It's very common for Western films to feature either what they do is either more to the point. What they'll do is they'll always exalt the black woman for being a single mother. Mm-hmm. They'll always use the underperformance of black men in order to justify her actions. Mm-hmm. And if a black man is functioning in a competent capacity, in the few times that he is, then he's never the head of household for a woman of his own race. So I don't blindly love non-black women. Is that I go with whatever woman is going to serve me for my purposes. But what I do notice is black men who are functional are being pushed out of the black community in order to dilute the black community by extracting those men out of the black community. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to participate in going to where the deal is optimal for myself. But what you do see is a concerted effort in order to promote single motherhood among black women. You're right.
And when I see it, I'll always be like, wow, it's crazy how they do that. And, you know, before I hone in on my niche on this channel of, you know, fighting against the pushing and glorification of single motherhood onto the black community by the Democratic Party, I was all over the place, but I did speak on that Hollywood aspect of how they portray us in movies, how they always, you know, just either the woman is single and she's a superhero for being single, or she's with a white guy, where that white guy in the movie, sort of like that, what's the movie with Lauren London and Eddie Murphy that just came out on Netflix a couple of months ago. But it's the same trope. When a black woman is with a white man in the movie, oh, he's like Homer Simpson. You know what I mean? He's just dumb, and, you know, she's just anything she said, and they always make it to where she's a pro-black, right? And she's going in on her husband for being white, or going in on her boyfriend for being white, where you chose that white guy. So you're just going to dictate to him how, like, you know, you are oppressed in this country, and, you know, he got white privilege and all of this. But you're with him. You don't have to be with him. You could be with a black man. But no, you want to chastise this white man for his white privilege, but you're with him. And that's the main trope in our community and entertainment business as well. Do you see that?
That's a good point. With when it comes to black men, there's a very obvious effort in order to emasculate us, to make us seem stupid. A lot of the time, when you look at guys like Terry Crews and what's his name, Kevin Hart, the Kevin characters Hart. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that movie that Kevin Hart was in, when he was straight up a wife. He was a home wife. Like, come on, man. When he was with what's the damn, I'm forgetting these movies' names. But Regina Hall was in the movie with him, and she was the breadwinner, and he's the stay-at-home dad. And they emasculate the shit out of us, and then they wonder why black men have something called red pill, bro.
Exactly. A lot of the time with black men who don't frequent these spaces, we've been beat down so much that no matter how obvious it is, no matter how concerted it is, no matter how absurd, even like Terry Crews is like in every single movie he plays in, no other race of man would play such degrading roles about themselves. You're not finding like a Terry Crews, like an Arab man who's going to go on screen. He can barely speak English. Right. He has no authority. He's like huge, and he's
biggest
very
motherfucker though. Like
exactly, but dumb, weak, cowardly. Like in the other guys with Sylvester Stallone. Like when the few times he was looking masculine, is you can only have a very narrow kind of portrayal of masculinity, where he's like flexing his pecs and like wearing a bra and stuff. It's so obvious and so in our faces, but because the racism is so intense and we've been so conditioned to just play dumb about it, that like what you said about like the black woman and what you see with the black men, a lot of us just don't. It's not even like something we even consider because we're just so used to it.
That's absolutely true. I appreciate you coming up here, Mr. Polite Citizen. I always enjoy your commentary, sir. Man, look, we might have to do a segment together, and we split the money down the middle on those videos, because I love your perspective and I love how you present yourself as a black man, and letting us know your perspective of how you see it as a black man. You see what I mean? So I appreciate you coming through. I'm gonna get to the rest of this show, and appreciate
Thanks a lot,
it,
man.
brother.
Peace. Later.
All right. Again, people, I try to, make sure that the audience gets a voice. That's what I'm here for. Anthony Hubbard is in the building, baby. You say it is entertainment, or you say, is it? That's a good question. Is it entertainment or indoctrination? Woo! This man always come in here with some fucking knowledge shit that make you think. This man always do it, man. But damn, that's a good question. That's a mighty good question, my brother. I believe it's both. I believe one can't even exist without the other. I believe that of entertainment. Now, let me say this. Indoctrination cannot exist without entertainment. But entertainment can exist without indoctrination, because the indoctrination or the entertainment element brings forth the indoctrination of said thing. I think that makes sense. I think it makes sense. I don't know. You let me know, Mr. Anthony. But appreciate you coming in, man. Let's get back to this tomfoolery. But this is the interaction between black women, and let's just see. Now y'all just seeing them two going at each other, right? She don't know that that's Suki in the car, and Suki is just talking to whoever is behind that mic.
Yeah. Pull up on her motherfucking ass. The fuck? Bitch, I ain't kikiing with your ass. We can fight. Talking about I ain't finna take your order because you drunk, bitch. Self. A paid customer. The customer's always motherfucking right. All that energy better be a kiki and laughing when I pull up, bitch. Because I'm not playing, bitch. I will fight your ass.
Oh my God. Again, people, want to come up here and say something? The mic is yours.
Talking about why is you yelling in my motherfucking ear? Bitch, because I'm hungry, but this long ass line of ice cream machine always broke.
Damn, you know it.
Because one thing about it, I ain't going nowhere till I get my fish fillet. I want my fish fillet. That's all I.
So she's at fish fillet. And all the times I went to fish fillet, black, white, they always seem a little, they're nice. But that black woman was in there. Like, let me go for the people who ain't hear it and just coming in. This is how the interaction started.
I want a fish fillet.
Why is you yelling in my ear, bro? You can get a fish fillet, please. You ain't got to.
Can I get a fish fillet? Girl, how's I'm yelling in
Stop
your ear?
yelling in my ear, bro.
Girl, who the fuck is you? Let me get a motherfucking fish fillet with some sperm. Can I get some sperm on the side?
This bitch, I'm sorry, I don't mean to call her out her name, but she said, can I get some sperm on the side? What the fuck? Like, you don't know who's on the side, who's on the other side of that mic. And they just say shit.
Nah, you ain't getting nothing, bro. Pull out.
Just some ghetto ass shit. Like, who the fuck is you pulling up on that hoe?
Bam.
Yeah, bye, bitch. Bye.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull around so she can see.
Yeah. Pull up on her motherfucking ass. The fuck? Bitch, I ain't kikiing with your ass. We can fight. Talking about I ain't finna take your order because you drunk, bitch. Self. A paid customer. The customer's always motherfucking right. All that energy better be a kiki and laughing when I pull up, bitch. Because I'm not playing, bitch. I will fight your ass. Talking about why is you yelling in my motherfucking ear? Bitch, because I'm hungry, but this long ass line of ice cream machine always broke.
Damn, you know it.
Because one thing about it, I ain't going nowhere till I get my fish fillet. I want my fish fillet. That's all I came for. I only came for that. So what you not going to do is tell me that I can't. If I'm in the passenger seat, bitch, of course I'm going to yell. I'm going to power punch that hoe. I'm going to Power Ranger punch that hoe through that window if I don't get my motherfucking fish fillet. That's what I got for her ass, because she should never got smart.
Look, they can hear you, but they got.
Oh, this ain't Chick-fil-A?
They got.
Fish fillet.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A. This fish fillet. She talking all of that shit. Don't even know what she had. Hey, somebody said the other day, they said, Suki rubs off on them as a person of mentally that's intellectually challenged. Because I was at work the other day, and they make us, like I tell you guys, I work a job. I'm an essential personnel employee or supervisor. I don't do the hard work. I do supervise people to do the hard work, but we have to take classes, right? And I had to take a persons with disability class, or little refresher course on the internet, and it's just a little computer based course, and we were taught how to talk to people with disabilities, and either intellectual disability or physical disability. I talk a lot about how a lot of these women, they're in the hood and they're having babies with a lot of Pookies and Ray Rays. They're having multiple babies with Pookie and Ray Ray, and they will overlook people like Polite Citizen and myself, or AJ's Rants and Reactions, or people like Anthony Hubbard, right? So they would do that. So they will have these babies, and these men are from the same hood. These men are from the same exact space. So their family are going to school with each other, and when they come of age of having sex, they're literally having sex with their sisters and brothers. They're not even knowing. And I think that the result of that is Sukihana. What y'all think? I know for a fact that incest in the black community is very prevalent, but we don't like to talk about it. We hate to talk about it. Yes. Appreciate you coming through, Jay's thoughts. Yes, her and Young Miami. If you listen to Young Miami, the way she talks, she sounds like she's intellectually, they sound retarded, but high functional. You see, they sound very high functional. And I explained before on this channel that it's not your sister or brother that will make you severely retarded. It's your cousin that will make you severely retarded, because y'all have the same grandparents. So it's the same pool of genes that's going into, like, the grandparents have a boy and a girl, and that's, y'all are their kids. So it's from the same shit. So and it's not condoning having sex with your sister or brother, okay? But if you had to choose to have sex with somebody and they got a gun to your head, I'll advise you to have sex with your brother or sister instead of your cousin, okay? I'm not condoning this shit at all, though. I'm just giving you scientific facts here. But I think it's more, but you having sex with your sister or brother and y'all have a child, they still gonna have some issues. You see what I mean? They're gonna have some issues. Sorry, y'all siblings. But if you have a baby with your cousin, like your aunt's son, your mother's sister's son, that baby gonna be super retarded. Oh my God. What? Kevin C? You ain't just do that. Oh my goodness gracious. I wish you would have did that in a cash shop, but goddamn, I'm gonna get something. I'm gonna get majority. I hope majority of that. My man just put 150 on it. The super duper 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 duper. My man just put 150 on it, people. Put a one up, please, I don't care if you're in here and you don't usually comment or put it in the chat. Put your one in the chat for Mr. Kevin C. Super sticker. Get it, bro. Appreciate that, my man. Man, look, I want to invite you on the show now. Now I don't want to invite you on the show. You hit that link, man. You hit that link. I want to talk to you, my brother. You put 150 on there. That's what's up, man. He says, my bad. I ain't even know that. But whatever that come out to, that is great. Limpyrus. He say, I learn something new every day. Honduras. It's 150 limpyrus, not dollars. Is it like pesos? You got to explain this to me, man. So I want to correct that. It's 150 limpyrus, not dollars. Explain. I don't know. Is that the? I know. Don't get me trying to. But still, man, shit. In American way, we look at us, $150. But anything, even if it's $5, man, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? But you do got that super sticker. That's what you got, brother. Bam. I heard of pesos. I heard of the. Don't get me. Look, I tell people, look, don't you talk about shit you don't know. That's when you start sounding stupid. And I am not good with currency, and I am not. I tried to Google. I went on a Google rant because if you guys watch that, what's the Netflix show with the Chinese and they playing the games? What's the name of the show? That's on the tip of my tongue. Squid Games. That show made me Google all of the currency of the world and compared to the dollar of the U.S. and all of that. Like, it is crazy how the currency is just looked at. Like, that 150 limpyrus probably be like $10 in American. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, Kevin C, what's that equivalent? What's the dollar amount equivalent in American money? That's probably what I want to ask there. But let's get back to the video.
She gonna not come to the one.
It's okay, because I knock on it. I'm not even trying to be rude. Like, I'm trying to be nice because I really want my Chick-fil-A. I'm just trying to get my Chick-fil-A.
Oh, okay.
Or fish fillet, whatever the fuck it's called. That's all I can eat at this time is a fish. And they taking real long with this car. Talking about, why is you yelling in my ear like that? Bitch, you don't know if I drink or not. Because one thing about me, I don't drink not a piece of liquor.
That's
Do I,
bullshit.
Armani? Nope, don't. Never would. Because I'm on a diet.
Classy bitch.
Yeah, but classy bitch. That's why I'm at McDonald's trying to get my fish fillet.
Yeah.
That's that classy shit. The fuck?
The fuck? Like, the fuck? What is wrong with... I wasn't fucked up. Do y'all hear how she talks? That's the average. Oh my God. Woo. Y'all want to come up here, man? The link is in the chat room. The link is in the chat room. Please, please come up. I like talking to people. I like talking to the audience. But if y'all, if y'all a little shy, it's cool. Ross said, I haven't heard anyone else on YouTube break it down about reproduction issues in the hood.
Before I get on the road, I got to get something to eat. Okay, that car is leaving, so we'll be finna down.
She anyway. So
Yeah, let me see what she got. Go ahead, open that window.
And Rod, the reason I speak on that is because of that. Because look, man, there's a lot of I seen a lot of things going on in the hood as I was growing up that it's ingrained in my mind. You know, I seen it, and when you're in it, you don't know that you're in it because it's something that you're in. You don't know the reference of this not being good. You know, like when you're in poverty, you don't know you don't know that it's poverty until you experience something else. My credit score right now is 785. I'm 15 away from 800. Never had that before 35. I live in a 4,000 square foot home with an acre of land. Never could have thought of that. I'm from, y'all see that? 1280 Rum Street, Washington, D.C. That was an apartment building my mother lived in. We lived in I never could have thought I would own land. You see? Like I didn't have nothing to put up against poverty. It was rats, roaches, and that's it. Drunks, crackheads, that's it. All right, baby, we got to break down. Mr. Kevin C say, I want to say it's almost $7. I contribute to a lot of creators, so I try to stay consistent and supporting everyone's channel. Man, that's what's up, player. Anywhere from $3 to $10 for my contributions. Appreciate that, man. Look, and I'm sure we all appreciate it. You know, I'm a small channel, people. I rarely get, when I'm going live, I mean, I actually like it being a small group of people who's watching me at one time. At the end of the day, woo, I don't know if I'm ready for the Kevin Samuels shit. Do y'all think I can hold a crowd of people like my comment section? It goes, the pace of that is just for me, baby, because I'm like, I can read every damn comment because it's already 2 minutes or something. But Kevin Samuels, I seen this motherfucker on live, right? And this was just motivation. This just motivated me, right? Like I told you, I've tried every angle to, you know, become successful on YouTube since 2014. And I was trying, and all I had to do was niche down. That's all. But I was going against the grain. I wanted to do what the fuck I wanted to do. I wanted to talk about Biden. I wanted to talk about LGBT. I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to talk about that. And the algorithm like, bro, we don't even know what you about. So we're not just going to share anything. And you only get 20 views a video, period. I got 20 views a video for 8 years, period. But I'm consistent and I'm determined, baby. But I watched Kevin Samuels have 15,000 motherfuckers in his live. And that's intimidating. I can handle 8 where I'm at. I can handle 12. I think the highest I ever been on YouTube was 60 people. And that shit was, the stars aligned great for me that night. And I think I did fucking 4 hours on YouTube for 60 people, but 60, just imagine 60 people in one room listening to me. And that's what people don't understand. And I tell all young YouTubers out there, who just starting and not getting no traction and all of that, just stay to your niche. Niche down first. This is my advice. Make sure you niche down. Find a niche and talk about that motherfucker till the wheels fall off. And then apply everything to it. See, it's not that, you know, I got to stay in this realm of single mothers or single motherhood. I apply everything to that. And that's what I was missing for years. When they have a shooting, I'm applied to single motherhood. You see? When they have a vote in the Senate, that's going to affect the black community. See, I used to just do a video about that, but didn't have it connect to anything. So if they do a vote in the Senate right now, I'll pull that into why that will affect us and the single motherhood in our community. You see, I pull everything into the single motherhood conversation. Instead of talking about it individually, I pull everything into that conversation. Excuse me. But that's what I do. Kevin C is in the building. I appreciate you coming through, man. What's up, my brother? Hey, look, he had to get ready. He put the joints on. He said, I gotta get ready to talk to this, bro. I put these books in the background, making sure I'm educated out this educated black man. What's up, my brother?
Yeah, hello. I want to say it's Dutch, right?
Dutch, the creator, okay. Or Dutch, or just call me Dre, whatever you want, man. Or just call me the Black Non-Democrat, whatever you want.
Yeah, hey, fine, definitely. Hey, can you hear me loud and clear?
I can hear you great, man. You are crisp.
Roger. It sounds like I have an echo. Is that me or?
I don't hear the echo. You probably have it on your side.
Okay.
But no, that's fine. If you can work with it, we good.
Yeah, that's fine. I can work through it. It's no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I was actually just going to say that that the fact that you, because when I look at your title, the Black Non-Democrat, I just assume, okay, you're relating it to kind of issues that are liberal but affect black people in a negative way. And you know, black people, unfortunately, for the longest time, have had this thing where they vote Democrat, and I don't want to tie it to just voting. And there's other activities and other actions that we could improve on, starting with personal behavior. And then, I always look at both. I always say it's a two-pronged approach. You have personal behavior, and then on top of that, you have, external forces, which, are working to make sure that black people aren't as successful as we could be. Right. You'll have that argument because everybody goes, well, you guys have the same rights and privileges and the same opportunities and this, that, and the third. And that's not true. Right. Now, but I will say that that some of how we can improve is actually linked to personal behavior, and that's the part that I want to attack. And then when you do that, then you actually can relate that to other things. For example, I know I've seen your videos as it relates to single motherhood, the problem, and how it hurts black people. It hurts everybody overall, by the way. But it hits black people the most because unfortunately, black women have the most kids out of wedlock, and then when you go down the board, then it's Hispanics next, and I want to say white women, then after that I think it's Asians. Even people always talk about Asians, and I don't want to talk about them badly or anything. I'm just saying they kind of do that model minority thing. Right. Well, they don't know that Asian women actually have about a 20% out of wedlock birth rate. Which so wow. And I'm not saying you can say that's a good thing or a bad thing. The thing is that most of the women, when they produce children, they're married. That's why that fact gets hidden. So if you got a 20% out of wedlock birth rate or lower, then it's negligible. I'm not saying it's negligible, but it's not as highlighted and it's not as much of a problem. And I suspect that some of those women even end up married, right? Because but when you have over 70% out of wedlock birth rate with one specific group, then now you've saturated the market. Yep. And it's overwhelming even for the men because we can't cover. Basically, men can't cover that spread.
We can't.
We can't do it. And I heard you say. And I heard you say that I think you said when you met your wife, you go ahead and correct me on this.
Well, I met my wife at 22 years old. We both were 22, and we worked at the same spot. Now, when we were talking, we were co-workers, and then we worked overnight. So, it was late night talking. And she never revealed to me that she had a child, but we was just talking. And then when she revealed to me that she had a child, I looked at it because I did come from a situation with another woman who had a child. And I did a video probably a couple of weeks ago about how that mother just shut me out after and that's why I tell people don't even date them because you get attached to these children And then when you get attached to these children, and then you break up with the woman, and you still want to be a part of their life, they tell you fuck off. That girl told me, you know, I don't need you in her life like that no more. So when I found out my wife had a child, you know, I was a little apprehensive. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this again, man. But my single mother, she was like, go ahead, give it a try. And, you know, I'm glad she did, because that little girl is now 19 years old, and I love her to death. And she's just out in college, and she's doing the damn thing, and she's just loving it, man.
Yeah, see, and that's.
But I don't condone it. I would tell people I am the outlier.
Yeah, and so I kind of want to speak to that a little bit, because yeah, generally it's not recommended, but I always look at it like this. See, the limit is generally one kid. Generally one kid. You're still young, and then you can, you know, produce more children for the guy that you eventually wind up marrying if you marry.
Right, like me and my wife, we had two together.
Yeah, and see, there you go.
14 and a 9-year-old. I had to get somebody in there that looked like me, bro.
Well, see, one of the problems that's actually existing today is that you have women who show up with 3 and 4, and then they say they don't want any more. Exactly. And you mentioned, it's interesting enough, you mentioned Kevin Samuels, right? So I'll go since you mentioned him, I'll go ahead and talk about him a bit. Okay. He would get women on the show to admit that they already had 3 or 4 and they didn't want any more, but they wanted a husband. And he would say, so what does he get from that? See, and that's so you gotta and the thing is that I'm not saying dudes would look past it or get over it, but what I'm saying is that you can't show up with 3 and then say, well, I don't want any more, and then Kevin Samuels asked the question, okay, so how does he get any kids, or is he just there to take care of the kids, and then get like he would ask these probing questions, and women, like, it just didn't cross their mind. But again, the limit generally is 1. Yeah. And then you're still, and you said, you know, in early 20s. So now you got from the early 20s all the way to the early 30s, or even mid 30s, to produce more children. There was a woman who had there's a channel, nice lady, great family. When she met her husband, she had 2. But she just keeps making more and more and more. Basically, she's giving this guy as many kids as he's wanted. They have a gang of kids right now. I think they're up to like 7.
Damn. God damn.
Yeah. She's giving as many as he wants. That's what he gets.
Shit. Well,
so they're up to like 7 kids right now.
We look. I will look. Okay, check this out. If you come in with 2, like you said, this guy, you better give me how many I want. Period.
Yes. Yeah. She said she's been pregnant most of the marriage, and that's fine, and she's happy with that. And you know, it's a great family. They actually created a nice channel. She gives advice to women. Some guys kind of get on her a little bit about that, because, you know, like, hey, you had 2, you know, but
she ended up. That I don't mean to cut you off, bro. But that's what I tell women on my channel. Look, the thing is, I don't mind you having that first mistake. I got an 18, 19-year-old sister. She just made her mistake a year ago, right? And, you know, it did something to her where she's more mature now, right? And I always tell them, look, I'll give you that first one, but if you continue this, you know, cycle of having a baby at 20 with another dude and have a baby at another 22 and 28, it's on you. I'm not gonna keep giving you excuses. But if you are sort of like my wife or that woman, if she had 2, she made 2 mistakes, but she eventually got it straight, and then had, what you said, 6 more, 7 more?
Yeah, it's like 5 or 6 more. Yeah, I mean, they got a gang of kids over there.
At that point, that's that man's wife. That's that man's shit.
Well, so I know you talk about this, and I'm sure you're aware of the stats. You know, over 60% black. And so we're gonna keep it on black women since we talk about black people. But over 60% of black women actually have kids, and over 50% of them actually have kids and no husband. They've never been married. So I don't want to say 60% because part of that group is actually married. So let's just say let's just give it to the women who had the kids and never married. Okay, so over 50% never married, but they got kids. And when they have multiples children, now you got multiple guys involved. See, that's the issue and the problem.
There you go.
Because if it's one, then you just you're dealing with one guy, assuming he's active and all that other stuff. The relationship didn't work out, but maybe he's active, maybe he's not, and not an active father. Okay, but that's one person. But when you have 3 or 4, now there's multiple men involved. And actually, statistics actually state that women who have multiple children, over 60% of the time, it's going to be with multiple men, different men.
Yep.
So now you got 2, 3 guys. So a woman has 4 kids, now she's got at least 2, if not 3 men, 4 different children, and now the expectation of you to come in and deal with all of that, it's too much. And remember, see, what's happening is that you have men with sons. Okay, so I have a son of marriageable age, right? My advice to him is, is to leave women alone who already have children.
Right.
So if that's the advice, and now he could go against that, but still, essentially, when you look at it, that's half the women already gone, already eliminated. So, and I say that, and women don't look at it as if they're eliminating themselves as a candidate for marriage. That's why I say if you do that, then you got to limit yourself to 1 child, and then that next dude who comes along, you need looking at him as a husband, evaluating him as a husband and father candidate, and be serious about marriage. So that's not to say you can't do it.
I think they don't even think that far, bruh. Like, I don't even think they think that far. Like, where are you from? Are you from Honduras?
No. So I live here now.
Okay.
I go back and forth to the United States on a regular basis. I live here now, and in the next year and a half or so, I'm actually going to be back in the States a lot more.
Okay.
Because that's where we're gonna,
So you originated from the United States. Though.
Yeah. I grew up, Florida. Born in Florida, grew up there. Went to the military. Went all around the world, did a bunch of stuff.
You know I got military vibes from you. You know I do.
Well, you get a lot of guys who are ex-military wind up living overseas for a little bit or the rest of their life, and
let me ask you, how old are you?
Oh, I'm in mid-50s.
Mid-50s. Now, when I say, I'm about to be 40 next year. I'm 39. When I say, and my mother, confirmed it, but I just want to know from you. When I say, and a lot of other, YouTubers say about the black women taking that, just welfare and all of that back in the day, did you see that actually transpire like late 70s, early 80s? Did you see them actually take the fucking Kool-Aid?
Well, so I didn't see it personally, and so I came of age in the 80s, right? Mm-hmm. So all of this, so everything from the 1960s and the 70s is kind of is second and third hand information. Mm-hmm. But what I have done is I've done a lot of studying, right?
Right.
I'm the history nerd, right? Done a lot of studying. Not only that, I look at academic journals, reports, papers, all of that stuff. I write a lot of papers myself. So it forces you to actually do a lot of research. And what you can conclude from that is basically, women had to make that choice. Because here's the thing. And I'm very certain you're familiar with the Moynihan Report, right? 1965, Daniel Patrick Moynihan comes out with the report, The Negro Family, right? Mm-hmm. So he comes up with this report. And what they were trying to do is figure out what was wrong as it relates to all the issues and problems that black people were having. Now, within that report, they did mention the history of enslavement. They mentioned the history of Jim Crow racism and the negative effects that it had on black Americans. And that's absolutely true. But they also talked about the breakup of the black family and the issues and problems. And and this is where it actually came from. So when you hear about, I call it the black pathology argument. Mm-hmm. You heard that before, right?
No, I never heard of that.
So that's the black pathology argument. If you read the report, it talks about that. And the black pathology is essentially, negative behaviors that's contributing to the problem. So you already had the systemic issues. You had the history of enslavement, several centuries of that. And then you had 100 plus years of Jim Crow, stomped down hardcore, segregation, domestic terrorism, where black people were denied specific opportunities in all areas of life: economics, politics, education, healthcare, housing, all of that, right?
Right.
So, and that's not to make any excuses, but one of the things that added to that was another problem on top of that is you had, children being produced without husbands, right? Mm-hmm. And then now, and I want to say in that report, it was like over 20 it was over 20%, almost 25%. Wow. Right? Yeah, so that's what it was in 1965 when he wrote that report. And so now we're over 70%, almost 80%.
80%.
And that's what they pointed to say, look, the cycle of black pathology is actually contributing to the problem. Now, he also included, again, enslavement and Jim Crow segregation and all the issues and problems associated with that. But black people, and you can say black people, but it's primarily those kids were born to black women by a small percent of black men. Exactly. I've heard you actually say that, and that's always been the case.
Yeah.
And the reason I researched this is that I always said, well, look, even if you have the kids born out of wedlock, okay, that's fine. And just make sure the father takes care of those kids.
Co-parenting.
Exactly, right? But what we're finding out is that it's not all men. It's literally a small pool of men. See, now, and women hate that because what it does, here's what it does. It actually puts the problem back on them.
It shows that they are the issue. When you see that stat, and they always want to say, it's between the age of this black man and that. Look, at the end of the day, it's damn near 50% of black men ain't even fathering children. And the thing is, I know at least 5 in my mind right now that don't have no children, bro. And when I think of women who don't have children, I have to be like, all right, give me a second. Okay, her. Okay, all right. I know she got a child. I gotta literally think. You see what I mean? And people don't understand. And that's and what you just said is what black women are scared of. They scared when we say these things. And this specific thing is you have so many babies by Pookie and Ray Ray. And the other Pookie and Ray Ray. And the other Pookie and multiple, but will take this man who's making, the bus driver who don't got no kids. You'll call him lame. You'll call him gay. You call him all these things and won't mess with him. But we'll give the thug all of the pussy. And it's like, wow. And then when we say it, they try their hardest to defend or try to justify it, but you know they can't, and then that's when they'll revert to the name calling.
Yeah, well, there isn't, because there's no justification for it. So look, if you're doing something, if something's like about 8 or 9%, you could account for. You could say, okay, that's probably a mistake. Actually, usually a mistake is like 2 to 3% of anything. Right. When it gets over 5%, it's like you're not making a mistake anymore. Now it's like, wait a minute, you're not doing something right. So mistakes and error is like plus 2 or 3%. That's only to give you a variance, so that way if you made a mistake in your calculations. Okay, but when you get over 20%, when you get over 20%, 50%, 70%, that's not a mistake. That's intentional. That's a there's a guy. He's another content creator, and I kind of regularly pop in and talk to him. Mm-hmm. He has a theory on this. The idea is that to select a man who's compromised, all right? Because, women will go, well, these guys don't stay, or they abandon their kids, or they do this, or they do that. No, the guy, they're being, the gentleman, not a gentleman, the men who are being picked are compromised to begin with. That's an intentional choice. Yep. Okay, because whether that guy's going to be a husband or a father. He's indicating to you right from the beginning whether or not he's interested in you seriously in that way. So, and a lot of negative things come out of that. For example, a woman can't say, well, I had the kid and then he changed it on me, or I was tricked, or somehow he fooled me. Because what happens is nobody can explain a 70% plus, bait and switch strategy. Exactly. No men are doing that. No men are doing that. Yeah. So you and I are men. Here's something that we know about men with 100% certainty. We don't hide nothing. Right. The only guys who will literally hide their life are con men. Mm-hmm. All right, and they're doing that, and they're very specific. Hell, a con man can fool you and me.
They're professional.
Yeah, they're professional.
They go into it with the intent of getting your ass.
Yeah, they can fool you and me pretty easily. Right. In some respect, until we start asking questions. Right. And that's why. Now, here's the thing. That's why a lot of con men don't try to target men, because men are very direct with their communication.
Yep.
We start asking probing questions.
Yep.
When something doesn't make sense to us, we're like, wait a minute, I thought you said you knew this.
Yep.
You tell me you're an engineer,
Look,
right? And I go, then I'm gonna go, what school you went to? MIT? And then
I don't mean to cut
like
you
that.
off. I don't mean to cut you off, but I just experienced that with and you are absolutely right, my brother, because I just experienced that with a person I was in the podcast with, and he came off to me as a person of red pill, right? He came in like, yeah, man, forget these women, blah, blah, blah. I love how you doing your stuff. I'm just trying to, create this podcast with you, blah, blah, blah. And we created a podcast called The Truth is Controversial. And we did, 6, 7 episodes. And then it came out that he's actually one of those don't give a fuck about facts, pro-blacks, and a feminist. And I was like, wow, like, he showed his true colors, and I said, and it was based off of what you was just saying, though. Like, say he did that to a woman, that shit would have probably still would have went on. She probably would have still got conned, but I chopped that shit off right when I suspected it one day, and then I started asking questions, the right questions. And then it came out. And then when it came out, bruh, I said, I got to go. I got to go because a lot of my audience, I'm building my audience for the first time in 8 years. So they know me as factual shit and, understanding logic and common sense and reason. And, I can't be next to a person who said they don't care about facts. I can't be next to that person. So I had to excommunicate myself from that man. But you absolutely right, my brother. We as men are more likely to not accept bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, we see through it very, very quickly. I was dealing with a woman, and within 90 days, actually half of that time, I saw that she was a bad woman because all the stuff started coming out. But that in less than 90 days, that relationship was done. That's why when I hear women go, "Oh, he fooled me for 1.5 years, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years," I'm like,
bullshit. They know who they with.
You ignore, no. Yeah, you ignore
Kevin,
all the
they know who
flags,
they with. They know exactly when they meet that man. Look, let me tell you something about women. Women are the most smartest individuals on the planet. And you ain't about to tell me, look, I knew someone who their girlfriend, out of 10,000 people on his follower list, she found the motherfucker he's fucking with. Without a name, bruh, I don't even know how this happened. But she did it. They're like the FBI. So at the end of the day, you're not about to tell, and then in social media and all of this, and you can Google someone, you're not about to tell me you ain't know Pookie was a Pookie before you knew Pookie was a Pookie.
Yeah, absolutely. All the signs are there. The guy's not working. He's not trying to work.
Didn't
graduate high school, or he didn't finish, or he dropped something. Like all the signs are there. It's just everything's right there. So it's an intentional choice.
Yes.
And you can't sell it as something that it was a bait and switch, and I had no idea. You cannot fake being a Pookie for 10 years. You can't do that. You can't even fake it for 30 days.
You can't. And guess what?
Yeah.
I know this because I used to be a Pookie, man. And I know how I used to try to I used to do some shit. Like before 20, I used to do some crazy shit. And when I see characteristics of that, say in a woman and her boyfriend or the dude or her baby daddy, and it's like, shorty, you knew who that was. You're not about to tell me that it was a bait and switch. You ain't about to tell me, you had the baby and then he just turned out to be this guy. No, you knew that guy. You knew him to be that guy. What they try to do is have that baby to either get back at that guy and put him on child support and make his life a living hell, or in some cases, they think in their mind that it's going to change this guy.
Yeah. I would go with your description number 2, because generally I call it reverse engineering. It's a reverse engineer strategy or the baby trap strategy. Look, you got this baby. Now you got to be a husband. Well, if you're not going to be a husband, you got to at least be a father with the expectation and hope that you're going to make it to marriage. They're trying to reverse engineer marriage and commitment. You can't do it that way.
Can't.
And that's the problem. And again, it goes, and then we talk about the numbers. So, and you mentioned, you know, the interbreeding, because it's already happening, by the way.
Yes.
We're already so we're on the third generation of this. And you actually have people who didn't know that they're related, literally meeting each other. There was a couple that was married, black couple. They found that they're brother and sister. They produced two children already.
I did that story.
Yep, they already produced. So yeah, exactly. They already produced two children, and they didn't say the kids had any defects or anything.
Nah, like I just told y'all, it's not. My wife had explained this to me, that it's not the brother and sister that you will have that major, you know, retardation. It's the cousin. It's the first cousin, because y'all got the same pool of grandparents. You see what I mean? So those grandparents have the children who have, so it's all within them. So when you have sexual relations with your brother or sister, it's half of yours, and then my wife can explain that shit better than I can.
There's some genetic. There's some genetic explanation with that.
Right.
Yeah, but the whole point is that they didn't even know. I was in the academy, so military. You got to go through. I don't know if you're military background, but you got to go through the requisite training. And I was at my last stage of professional development training, and I was actually in the academy with a woman who very, very pretty young lady. Well, very pretty woman. She was older, but she was very pretty, and she told me a story about how her father produced like 12 kids that they knew of. They suspected he had more. And at one point, she was out somewhere doing something. She met a nice guy, yada, yada, yada. They had conversations. Turned out they had both had the same father.
Ooh. I don't know how.
So, I mean, just something as simple as that. Because all those kids are generally in the same area. Not all of them, but I would say the majority of them in the same area. And that's problematic. But literally, just within, now luckily for them, within the first hour or so of conversation, they realized that they had the same father, different mothers, but same father, and that was the end of that. But my whole thing was like, the dude had 12.
But I'm glad they caught it short. I'm glad they caught it right then and there.
But how often does that happen and they have no clue?
Right, like Kevin
So
Gates
when you have
said he was messing with his cousin and he kept it going.
Well, when you have a situation, so you've heard of the Memphis Three. I call them the Memphis Three, the infamous Memphis Three. You heard of them?
I didn't hear. Explain that.
3 guys up in Memphis, Tennessee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Three black men up in Memphis, Tennessee. Between all 3 of them, they produced 78 children with 47 different women. Wow. And that was last count.
My God.
I quit counting because they're almost at 50 now. I was like, you know what? I got it. I just call them the Memphis Three. 78 children, 47 different women.
Dang.
You had a guy down in Georgia, Jay Williams. He was actually on the Alan Van Zant show. 34 kids, 17 different women. Music producer.
Damn.
And she was getting on him about it. You had there's a rapper named, he's a D-list rapper named Jay Fizzle. He's got 14 kids, 14 different women. That he knows of, by the way. Suspect that he has more. So when you say this and you put this out there and then you start throwing that out there, women are like, that's not true. I'm like, no, that's literally true. I don't know if you saw the video of the guy who had like 20 plus kids. He's a truck driver or something like that, which is fine, but he has 20 plus kids. And the reason we know that, because he got all of the mothers together along with the kids, as many as he could get together, and did this so-called holiday photo.
And the thing is, bruh, these women are choosing to keep having this dude's been like I did the video a couple months ago about the man. He said, look, I told these women I ain't want no kids, and 7 of them had his baby. And it's like,
you're talking about the House of Hypocrites dude. Yeah. He went viral with the 7 seven baby mamas, 7 kids.
It's like y'all women are deciding to have. Y'all know this guy. You know this bum ass dude, and you still gonna have his see, people just thinking of 7 kids, 7 baby mothers. But you gotta understand, these are 7 women with 7 different times that they had to hold that baby for 9 months. Like, this is a lot of time going through to where they are deciding I'm still going to have this goddamn baby. But
yeah, and he tried to. I understand he offered solutions, and I didn't really like the solutions, but he offered solutions, right? But the one thing he said he wasn't going to do was be an active father. He said he's not going to be an active father. He's not going to pay child support. He's not going to be a part of his kids' lives. When that guy is being very direct and adamant about that, then they still could produce a child and say, look, okay, let's find a nice couple to adopt,
right,
or something like that.
Right.
They could have. I mean, some of them may have done that. We don't know. The thing is that this was the interesting thing about that guy, is that within 2 to 3 days he was already impregnated those women of knowing them. For some women it was the same day.
Damn.
So that's why they couldn't track him down, and that's what. That's why his whole story was very problematic. People were like, "You're making this up. You're lying. You're just trying to get clout. This, that, and the third." Look, even if that's there's some embellishment there, the problem is that he was exposing a lot of the behavior of women, and they did not like it. They didn't appreciate it. They were. I'm telling you, I watched some of those interviews, and I don't know if you got him on your show, but I looked at some of those interviews, and he was pretty consistent with everything. He wasn't flinching. He wasn't, he wasn't trying to recall information. He was like, no, I did this, I did that, I did this. He was consistent at every time that he was interviewed. And I'm like, wait a minute.
I've watched them, and the consistency thing, that's what literally got me. Like, this guy's not lying. I don't think he's lying. I think, look, bruh, at the end of the day, like I said, I was a savage before I was 20 years old. And I did a lot of things that, I'm just happy that I came out pretty clean. You know what I mean? And I've see, when he's speaking, like I said, I was a Pookie or Ray, whatever you want to call him. I was that guy where I would just test women just to see what the fuck they'll do. And they'll always go along with whatever the fuck I wanted to do. If I didn't want to put on the condom, then whatever. And just by chance, I didn't get these chicks pregnant. But I was a savage out there. I didn't give a fuck about what the fuck, because I was from the hood. I was from poverty. Like, now I look back on my life and like, what the hell was I thinking? But all of these women that I was messing with allowed me to do it. It was nothing forced. It was just whatever. And I tell people, and I look at my daughters, 19, 14, and 9. And I said, that's why I got fucking daughters. Because I got to atone for this shit, man. Because I did a lot of shit, Kevin. And I'm like, man, I have to make it to where my daughters don't make the same decisions that these chicks made when they fucked with me. That's
but you being present actually makes that difference.
Yeah.
So
it does.
we know the outcomes. Day. Generally, the women that grow up with fathers usually do pretty well. It's not a guarantee, 100%, but it's about we're about 85% out here on fathers with being raised by their daughters. So I'll take that over the the other statistics and the worst and the other outcomes that are negative without the fathers.
And that's why that's why I talk to my little girls. I don't sugarcoat anything with them. I swear. They can come. They know they can come and ask me anything. See, their mother may, keep some shit from them, but me, I'm not. That's usually fathers will tell their children everything because of the simple fact of we know when we came into contact with that thing I'm telling you about, I had no knowledge of. So now that I have knowledge of this, I'm going to tell you about it. I'm literally going to tell you. Now, if they want to take that, people ask me, what if your daughters become single mothers out here? Like that's their choice. But it ain't got nothing to do with how I raised them and what I instilled in them.
Yeah, so and you let me know if you agree with this concept, because to some extent I actually agree with it. And again, I kind of got this from somebody else, so this is not my I won't take the credit for the intellectual thought on this. But basically, his theory is this: 17 and under is your fault as a parent, whatever they do, because you have positive control of them, or you're supposed to have positive control. Once they become 18, legal age adult and over, now everything is on them. Because
before you
but
go
again,
on,
the way that you're teaching them,
I do agree with that. In the aspect of from the perspective of, yes, I do. Matter of fact, I ain't even gonna say that. I do agree with that. When you leave or when you become an adult and you're 18 years old, like my daughter, she's 19, she's about to be 20 this year. So when she turned 18, she started to take on adult responsibilities. And within those adult responsibilities, she applied what me and her mother instilled in her, and on top of that, on how she viewed us on growing up, how she's seen us handle certain situations. I see it in her now. Like, it's nothing that I taught her. It's nothing that I talked to her about or anything. She just did, based upon her seeing me and her mother handle certain situations. So I then now look at her as an adult to where I'm like, okay, the things that you're doing right now is 100% your ideas based upon how you grew up. But go back to what people are saying about, what if she become this or that? It's other outside, things that can contribute to her decision making as well, because she's an adult now, but for the most part, she makes decisions based upon how she was raised. That's why I look at, nurture. Well, yeah, nurture over nature. I'm a nurture over nature guy. I do think that if you were born a certain way, you're going to be that certain way, but depending on how you were nurtured and how you were raised it would depict how you handle certain situations. Does that make any sense? Because I know
absolutely. Not only that, what happens is a lot of the, even as they become adults, they still look to you for guidance, direction, mentorship, leadership, all that other stuff. Because look, what other man in her life other than her future husband is going to have her best interest at heart? Right. Nobody. I tell my own daughters that I'm like, look, it's just me and your brother. Until you can find your husband, we're the only two men on the planet that care about you in any way. That we would stop what we're doing to try to help you out if you really absolutely needed it. But based on that's the other thing too. So while you were talking about that, I was thinking of another point, because women love to use, well, I'm not going to say an excuse. They love to make this statement. Well, I wasn't raised that way and I wasn't taught that. Now here you are, 32 years old, and you're still acting like you're not going to take responsibility for your life. Look, whether you learned it or not, what kind of parents you had, single mother, dual parents, however it worked out, whether they taught you or not, at some point you have to get control of that very early and deal with it and correct all those issues and problems. And then, because now everything's on you. You can't be 35, 40 years old saying, well, I didn't get that from my parents. Because what you're doing is you're taking that responsibility that should go to you and placing it on somebody else. I've had to actually correct people on that. People will say, well, the previous generation didn't do something, or the previous generation before that didn't do something. Okay, fine. Whatever they did or didn't do, what are you doing? You have the con right now. You have the control. What are your decisions? What life decisions are you making? Because, and understand something, very quickly, men don't get any latitude. You might get latitude for about, 18, 19, possibly up to age 20. And they're only giving you that latitude because you're young. But once you hit like 19, they're like, wait a minute. We don't want to hear about your issues and problems. Fix it, bro.
When I heard that a kid got a teacher pregnant and the teacher was the pedophile, anything that teacher did to that child that child should not have any responsibility, accountability for anything, because it's a child. She gets pregnant. He becomes of age. She puts this little boy on fucking child support.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
When I found out that exists, I say, you know what? Fuck that. Men, you can sit up here and chastise us, tell us we leaving our families, all that. At the end of the day, that's what I center my channel around. Like, at the end of the day, you're not about to tell me that I need to go holler or make videos about men that already get, society already hold them accountable.
Yeah. So there's always accountability for men. We have the demands and expectations of performance, accountability. We can't get out of it. Even if you tried, you couldn't get out of it. You literally have to lead the country to some extent in order to escape your responsibilities.
Kevin, you talk about that. I'm gonna go use the bathroom because I've been drinking a lot of liquids here. I'm gonna use the bathroom, but please speak on men's accountability and how women don't have any.
Well, okay, so we can look at it like this. Essentially, you can't name any situation, especially legal situation, where men are not held accountable. We're held accountable for everything that we say or do, and especially if it brings harm to somebody else. And specifically speaking, black men, have been held accountable more than any other racial group. So we can't get out of anything. So this thing where, men are not held accountable. Look, there's laws in place to mitigate that and to hold you to account. And not only that, there's systems in place. You have the criminal justice system. You have the child support system. You have other men literally holding other men accountable. That's, by the way, what a father does in a lot of ways, is that they're going to put basically, the boot to your behind and say, look, one of the things that I did with my son, I wanted to, my daughters too. I was like, hey, make sure you don't do this, make sure you don't do that. But I was very hardcore about him not, being out there, being running wild, and getting in trouble and making kids all over the place. Because you're literally ruining your future before you even get a chance for it to start. And you do that, 16, 17, you're going to have to deal with that as an adult. All right. I've seen situations where young men dropped out of high school who were probably on track to graduate. The few black men who actually do graduate, they're on track to graduate, and they started working because they had to pay child support. Like, you're already there. You're 16, 17 years old. You're already required to actually deal with that. So there's almost no aspect where men are not held to account. Not only that, specifically speaking, and understanding the history of the United States, black men have been held to account so much that you have black men who have been, falsely imprisoned.
Yep.
Yeah, accused of something, very little evidence, just because they needed a body in prison, or they needed somebody to be blamed for whatever happened, or they just, look, I just want to mess with you today. Whatever reason, it doesn't matter. Every few months you see of some black man who's being released from prison, right? Mm-hmm. Because of some such charge 20, 30 years ago. Some guy, he just was released almost 40 years in prison, falsely accused. Do you know that the state is not going to cover that? I forget which state it is, but they actually have a provision in their legislation that says if you're falsely in prison, yeah, you're not. Yep. I think people did like a nice little GoFundMe. He had got some contributions. The family tried to help him out. But my whole point is that the state knew that they're like, look, if we falsely imprison you, we're not going to be held responsible. Now, the good thing is that because of forensics, DNA, security cameras, you have to actually, a lot of times you almost can't get away with anything without somebody seeing it. All right,
it's no such thing as a serial killer anymore. You can't be a serial killer.
It's hard to do it now. So once you're convicted, you're generally. But I mean, not even 20 years ago, it was very easy to convict somebody off of just eyewitness testimony.
Right.
Whether they were, I think it's him, and then you have to, burden of proof is beyond reasonable doubt. If there's reasonable doubt, then you have to. Well, I just can't take that chance. Right. And now one of the other things that you remember, black men were also judged on prior activity. So say you had criminal activity in your background, and that was, although it's not supposed to be used against you, due process, it can be. Yes. And it's brought up, and now they're like, well, you know what? You have a record of this, so you know what? We're just going to convict you. But again, DNA evidence, forensics, and all the science and everything, it's much more difficult to do. Yeah. It's much more difficult to do. So that's a good thing, but I mean a good chunk of the history of the United States has been literally holding black men to account to the point of putting false men in prison under false pretenses.
And that's why I always go, and don't mean to cut you off, but these women, they come to my channel and a lot of other channels as well. And it's a theme that they always, you'll speak on them making the decision to lay down with this guy. I don't care what he sold you. The thing is, when black men get duped by anybody, we just got to take it. Like signing that birth certificate. If the woman convince him that, hey, he's the father, and he signs the birth certificate, which I tell men out there, please make sure that you get that DNA test before you sign that birth certificate. But nonetheless, he signs it and he becomes not the father, like he's literally not the father later on down the line, but he's responsible financially for that child based upon a signature. So
yeah.
he's literally held accountable for something that he didn't even do. But a woman, on the other hand, could have that baby, drop it off at the fire station or the hospital, and it's a law called no questions asked, and she could just walk the fuck away.
Yeah, there's all kinds of amnesty for women. Yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy.
So, well, you could produce a child. You don't have to raise your own kid. You don't have to do it at all. A woman could just, look, I can't do this. And you know what? And if that's the decision, that's what she comes to, I cannot, take care of this kid in the way that it needs to be provided for.
I agree with it, Kevin.
Then we can deal with that.
I am with you, shorty. Just allow that man to do it as well.
Yeah, see that it should actually go. The kid should actually go to the father. But then you have women who don't know who the father. That's the other thing too. I mean, I don't know how many times you've seen the Maury Show. Woof. But Maury Show, Sally Jesse Raphael. Who's the other one?
Jenny Jones.
Yeah,
Ricky
exactly.
Lake. Jerry Springer.
That was a big thing in the 90s.
We had it in the 90s. And the thing about it is, what's crazy? All of those shows we named, the sympathy went to the women who made the decisions. So
our society, so look, it's very interesting because here's what we do to women, and it's actually not fair that we do this to women, by the way.
Treat them like children.
And when I say we, it's not men, it's just general society.
I put out that video the other day. I don't know if you've seen it. I said, why do society treat women like children?
Yeah. Well, it's unfortunate, but so women don't want to hear this, but it's unfortunate, but there's a low expectation for women. So let me explain. What I mean by that is this. Okay, if a woman grows up, graduates high school, goes to college, meets a nice man, falls in love, produces children, wedlock, all that stuff, and raises a great family, we consider that a success. All right, and if she manages to carve out a nice little career for herself, then you know what? That's great. But if she doesn't do any of that and she completely falls on her face, then nobody's going to judge her for it because they're like, oh, she's just a woman. We should not be doing it as a society. And especially when you have, concepts like feminism, equality, I want to be able to do my own thing, yada, yada, yada. I can do what a man does, all this other stuff. Look, even with all of that, general society will still allow way too much latitude for women. You cannot have this expectation or say, well, this person is equal to you, or they can do this, they can do that, they can make all these decisions. And then when they fall flat on their face, they go, oh, she's just a woman. Look at her. She's just a poor woman. We don't really expect too much out of them. And they get treated like children. Now, here's the interesting thing. Because women are smart, they will play it. They will play that up.
Yes.
And they will take advantage of that. Oh, you giving me some latitude? You know what? I'll take it.
I don't know if you've seen that video yesterday, and I'm about to play it right now. All right, here we go. Just look at this.
Brookhaven police officers were called to the Hilton.
So this woman, she was, she was supposed to have been out of the hotel at 11 o'clock. It's damn near 2 o'clock. She's not out of it yet. Now, she go back and forth with these police officers.
It's the most down fucking shit in the world, bro. What the fuck? downstairs, we'll exchange. My this hotel.
Okay.
They had me fucked up the first night
That's
checking
fine,
in.
but I still have to do a report.
Insane.
Let me get
But no, the crazy part is I need your
I told you when we get downstairs, I will give you one in the car.
Okay, perfect. All right, perfect.
So you see she's unruly and all of this, right? They finally put the fucking handcuffs on her ass. Now I'm gonna play that part where it just turned left. And the thing is, it goes to what you're saying, like how they, when they get called on their shit or whatever happens to them, they want to revert back to, I'm just a woman. I'm just a woman. I'm just a woman.
I'm sorry. Okay, excuse me.
Stop.
Oh my God.
Stop resisting. Put your hands behind your back.
Oh my God.
Put your hands
Oh
behind
my
your
God.
back.
I'm sorry. Oh my God. Oh my
Listen,
God.
you would make this a lot easier, okay, if you would just
What?
listen to instructions, but instead, you want to mouth off and cuss after we've told you not to. You don't want to leave the hotel room when you've been ordered to, so now you made this a lot harder than it's got to be. I got it. All you had to do was leave.
Please, I'm sorry.
Nope, yeah, now you are. You had how many
What can I
chances?
do? Well, what can I do?
Go to jail. Post the bond.
I'm sorry.
Nope.
Well, I can't.
No. Running your
I can't
mouth?
afford to.
No.
I can't afford to.
Well, that's not my problem.
Sir, please.
Not my problem. You're not getting arrested.
Okay.
Let's go. Yep.
That was dumb on your behalf. All we wanted to do was make you leave. You made an issue out of nothing.
I'm sorry.
No, we are past that point. You had how many
I
chances?
can't afford to. I have a flight tickets.
Again,
Guess what?
not my problem.
Whose fault that is now? Yours.
You've done this to
What
yourself.
do I have to do to post bond or something?
Pay money. That's what you gotta do.
How much? How much do I have to pay?
However the judge says.
I have to wait for a judge?
Yep.
So I can't go home tomorrow.
Probably not, no.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
You should have thought about that about 20 minutes ago when I tried to get you out of the room peacefully.
And that's, Kevin, that right there is what icks me, because they talk a lot of shit. They say they got lawyers, they got all of this, they got this, they got that, they got, and then when shit hit the fan, they want to revert back to being a woman. But they want equality. They want all of this. And that's what fuels my channel, bro. What you got to say about that?
Yeah, so it's very interesting. Look, if she was going to be late, that's fine. But we're talking like 30, maybe 40 minutes. And you know what? There have been times where I missed the cutoff versus the, what do you call it, the checkout. It was at 11 versus 12 o'clock. Sometimes I think it's generally 11 or 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
You just got to go with 11 to be safe. But sometimes I forget. I'm like, I'll call downstairs and go, hey, you know what? I thought checkout was 12. Can I get another 30 minutes to just finish up and get on out of here? And because that's when they start cleaning anyway, generally, if you're out of there within the hour, you're good. I don't know what she was trying to do. I don't know what the fast one she was trying to pull. But the bottom line is all she had to do was leave. Yeah. And then she got very cooperative once she realized there's going to be some accountability to that.
Yep.
Yeah. Now she's just messed up her whole weekend. She's got to spend some time in county.
Yep.
And then, you know, she's going to miss her flight. It's going to cost her money. She's got to come back and deal with that. She's going to have that charge. And all of it's petty.
It is.
And it's very inconveniencing to her, but it doesn't matter because, look, you know, she just should have complied from the very beginning. But I will say shout out to those officers for trying to handle it in a way so that way she didn't get roughed up.
Exactly. And that right there is where we come into the point of how women are actually treated. You see, they sit there and not to say that women are treated fucked up in this country. I am going to say that. Like women, some men are out here, they are misogynistic, and that word it exists. You see, I know it exists because I've seen it. But when you come to make that the excuse for your behavior and your overall disdain for authority or your men, I'm not going to hold that I'm not going to make that the excuse for it, because a lot of women out here, and that's why I named this title that, the reason black women are not taken seriously. And the reason I named it that is because the majority of America they look at you as a fucking problem. They don't like to say it. They're not going to say it because they don't want to seem racist from the white perspective. And black men, they're raised by single mothers, so therefore they're more inclined to not address their behavior. So it boils down to men like me, people on YouTube, or you yourself, and it's like you try to speak some sense into it, and then because we're the minority of this, we're looked at as if we're crazy or we're just complaining or something like that. But no, we're saying exactly what a lot of men, you know how many men in my life who come up to me and say, bruh, I wish I can get on the internet and say this shit to you, like, or say the shit that you say, but I can't. And I know that I'm their voice. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. You know, there's guys with positions, you know, or they just don't want to have to deal with it, or they have their own problems that they're dealing with, and I get all of that. So just real quick, so there's never any problem criticizing men. There's never been any problem in the United States criticizing men of all races, and black men are getting criticism. So we get the most criticism,
and we got to take that shit.
Yeah, well, what it forces us to do a couple of things. You either got to self-correct and get on the right track. You said yourself that at one point you were doing the wrong thing, and you fixed that. And shout out to you for getting it all squared away in your early 20s or earlier. That being said, you can't be 40, 50 plus years old still screwing your life up.
Exactly.
But yeah, so men are subject to criticism at any time for anything that we do. And again, you either respond to it and get better, or you just stay screwed up and you have to deal with that criticism. The issue is that there's very little latitude or stomach in society to criticize women because of how women respond to it. So that's why women need to criticize other women. And even when women criticize and critique other women, even they get attacked. All right. So one of the things that I don't like is that this is a tactic that women will use. Is they'll say, well, you're just insulting women, you hate women, you don't like women, you're misogynistic, and you're just bashing women. No, it's not bashing anything or not bothering you, or it's not harassment if it's constructive criticism. Exactly. If we don't want to see any woman twerking on tables in the middle of the day at fancy restaurants, that's not bashing you. That's constructive criticism saying that you shouldn't do that. We do not want to see you twerking on tables in the middle of the day at fancy restaurants. And we've all seen that video, right? Mm-hmm. If we say we don't want you producing children,
and then got mad at the owner for coming out and saying, "Hey, can you not do that?"
Yeah, he got negative reviews for his restaurant, and I think what a lot of guys did, what some guys did, was they went and countered those reviews, and they started going to his restaurant and saying, "Look, man, we're going to support you. We're going to make up the difference financially for you. We're gonna get you back on track until this thing kind of blows away." But the idea that women would be so spiteful to go online and make negative reviews because he doesn't want you twerking on his expensive tables that cost him a lot of money, because that's not what the table is designed for. It's just for food and cleaning, and so you can.
It's like they want us to acquiesce to their uncontrollable instinct, where I gotta just twerk. And like I told you guys earlier, I'm like, you say you want a picture with them, they just turn the fuck around and twerk. Nah, I wanted your face. I didn't want your ass.
Well, so you know what? Leadership is correction, by the way. That's what men bring. Men bring structure, order, discipline, focus. Essentially leadership. That's why I hate that phrase, well, men are the leader. Y'all supposed to do this. Okay, so you're asking for leadership. Part of leadership is correction.
Yes.
Right? Not only that, if you say men are the leaders, then you know what? What you have to do as a woman is point me to your leader. Ooh. If you're a woman and you don't have a leader, then you're the leader by default. And that's where the argument falls through for women who have children but don't have fathers for their kids. Well, actually, and that's the other thing too. It's a fallacious argument because the kid has a father. The father's just not raising his kid. So you got to ask why.
Exactly.
Why? Okay, so you already made a decision. You already had the kid. Okay, so the father's not with the kid. He's not being active. You say he's absent, but why is he absent? What's going on that father is not raising that child?
Right.
And there's really no reason for it, especially if the father is, still alive, and you can find him. Now, if you can't find him because you don't know, then now you got another problem.
Right.
But
I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna let you go, Kevin, because I love talking to you, my brother. I don't know if you noticed, but we did 30 minutes. we did some damn shit, and I'm gonna cut this out.
I don't want to hold you up if you got something to do.
No. Ever think about that, buddy? If I do 30 minutes with you, I did 30 minutes with you because I wanted to do 30 minutes with you. I like your demeanor, and on top of that, you remind me of, like, I never had a father figure in my life, right? Well, no, I'm lying. I never had my father in my life throughout my life, right? But I had father figures in my life throughout my life, and you remind me of a certain person, one of my coaches. His name is Derek McCray. He wasn't in the military or anything, but he has that, like you and him. Like when you first came on here, I felt Derek McCray. And I'm gonna call him later on and tell him, bro, I just talked to your twin, because he just when you're talking to me, I still feel like I'm 12 years old. You know what I mean? I'm about to be 40, and when you're talking, I feel like that 12-year-old on his baseball team when he's talking to us young men, that he know that all of us have single mothers. All of us don't have fathers in our lives. So that's why I cling on to older men a little bit more than most men, because I like that. I like getting that from older men because I never had it in the household. It was always my mother. And then when she did get men, they beat her ass. You know what I mean? And I had to, defend her and all of this. So when I do talk to older men like yourself, I'm more humble. I'm more, appreciative of this knowledge and understanding of life, man. So I don't care if you just think that you're just coming up on the show, or a podcast that, you're just giving your opinion. It resonates with me, and I take from it, my brother, and I want to let you know that, and I appreciate your wisdom.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. And shout out to your coaches and the people who actually helped you out and moved you along the way. But yeah, we, as much as that was helpful, and I know that we need more of that. I call them primary first line supervisors. Essentially, we want the fathers there. Yes. We want the ideal situation is stable 2-parent homes, yes. Kids reared in that environment. And it's interesting because people talk about a lot of I remember I pointed to the quote unquote black pathology argument. Mm-hmm. Okay, so a lot of that goes away when you have stable 2-parent homes. Mm-hmm. Now we have other society pressures and other issues and problems, but all the stuff that would generally come out of a home where it's led by a single mother, there's issues and problems, they're working hard, they can't really supervise the kid the way they're supposed to, they don't have the time to make the investment, things fall by the wayside. When you have those 2 parents, now you have a team working to actually get those kids to adulthood. That's how it's supposed to be done. And if you get away from that, then you have the chaos and dysfunction that we see.
And you're absolutely right. And that's exactly what drives my channel. Any last words you want to say to the people? And I hope that you do come back up here and grace us with your presence in future shows, my brother. But I'm going to get this show on along, and we're going to end this. But do you have anything to say to the people that's watching this broadcast right now?
Yeah, well, We covered a lot. So, I mean, not, final or last words, but I mean, I'll just say, thanks for letting me up. I like your work. I've been watching you from a distance. I actually catch a lot of your replays. I think that's where you get a lot of your views anyway, from the replays.
Yeah, I do.
Because it's hard to catch people depending on, a lot of people are working, and then you got the weekends where people are out and doing stuff.
Right.
But you produce great content. I've seen when you have people come up, and when they're really honest, they actually give a good, solid opinion. And I like that you provide some balance with men and women. I love when women come up and actually they're honest about, how you present these discussions, and they can actually add something to it that other women can listen to and go, okay, well, I can see that, and then I can use that in my life. So thanks for what you're doing. We appreciate your work, and thanks for letting me up. Appreciate you.
And I appreciate you, my brother. I will talk to you later.
All right, good sir. Take care.
All right. I love that, man. I fucking love it, man. I love it, you guys. I am here for you guys, man. Look, Sukihana. Let's go ahead and finish Sukihana.
What was said? Y'all said I couldn't order no Chick-fil-A.
Do y'all see the face of these women? Look at that. Do y'all see? She's a goddamn celebrity. For what, though? For what? For ratchetness. These women work at a fucking fast food place. And they looking at her like they just seen Michelle Obama. But Suki represents... Oh, my God. Suki represents selling pussy. Suki represents doing all just nasty, like... Let's watch it.
You said I couldn't order no fish fillet.
Can you come in?
They said I can't come in.
Come in.
I can't come in.
I got your fish fillet. Don't make no fish fillet. If it's on the house.
So they said I couldn't order no chicken.
You gonna tell somebody that something is on the house where that's not yours to even put on the goddamn house. Girl, you work for a fast food place. You can't make something on the house because that's Sukihana. I'm trying to tell you guys.
You say what you
They said I couldn't order no fish fillet. Because they said that I was drunk.
Okay.
Can I please just order a fish fillet? I want and a McChicken sandwich. That's all I came for. A fish fillet and a McChicken and some fries, baby. Yeah, you can get a picture. Can you add some extra fries up in that motherfucker? Add a whole bunch of shit up in there. Yeah, we can get as many pictures as you want.
Now, I am actually with Suki on that. I do. When I do get the hookup from my mans and them back in the day and they worked at, yes, add some more fries. When I worked at Wendy's, I hooked my mans and them up with more fries. I'm still black, you guys. And I'm still from the hood. And I understand the hookup.
We sure the fuck can. I'm gonna come up and I'm coming in there. Take me in there so I can get my motherfucking video at the register. Take me in that motherfucker. Since they want me to come up in there, I'm gonna show their ass the time.
Now you got
Sure will.
tonight.
Sure will. I got time tonight. Especially if they giving us some extra fries. You gonna add in a McChicken. My friend said in a McChicken.
We got that drink.
I forgot, man. Alfred Cowens is in the building, man. That man been down with me. I don't know if he's still watching, but what's up, Alfred Cowens? My man been down with me since early Dutch Talk TV days, man. Love you, my
Okay, we is about to drink. They need to add a couple McChickens. They need to add a couple McChickens and the whole at the door act like she ain't see a motherfucker. Bitch, I'm gonna call your ass out when I get in there. I'm gonna be nice to you, but I'm still gonna say something.
This is McDonald's.
I'll make my own fries.
Do y'all think this was planned? put a 1 up if you think this was planned, because I remember in the beginning of the video, she was laughing a little bit. You can see a little smirk. And then she just walks in there. Well, she already understands that they know her, and she already understands that they look at her as a celebrity. So that gives her the confidence to go back there. So it's a little, I don't know.
I'll make my own private.
Oh my God. Let me get a picture. Oh.
And y'all see, that's what I'm saying. Like, the average black woman relates to her and want to be around her. That's why I say Sukihana is a problem in my title.
Oh my God.
So that was you that said.
No, that wasn't her. That wasn't her. That wasn't her.
I'll make my own motherfucking fries and shit.
Oh, I got you. Come on, let me get this. She's so pretty. Look good. She's
Don't
pretty
do
as
that.
fuck.
You look good as fuck. Girl, you up there looking like Thing 1 and Thing 2 from the Dr. Seuss books. And they said you look good as fuck.
Meat chicken.
That's my picture while I can. While I can.
And look at this crackhead looking chick. Happy as shit. That's the only celebrity she ever seen in her life was Sukihana. Scratching the titty and shit. Like, come on, man. Is that what the fuck we...
Let me fix my camera. I'm looking too dirty. She is beautiful.
You trying to make me...
She is beautiful. And I tell you guys, you say, not all, but young. Those are the women who follow her. Regular women. You don't see that even when Michelle Obama walk in the room, who's sophisticated. You don't see that from, but that's the mindset that they portrayed onto our women. Like, that's what the Democratic Party.
Come out here because you scared they gonna say something. Don't be scared of them. They ain't about to do a motherfucking thing. A fuck ass thing. They not about to do shit to you.
She would be in rooms to the wrong one. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's just
okay.
You ain't gonna order nothing from me.
That's why I stayed back though.
Can I get a chicken a fish fillet sandwich? But I said it last.
Right. That's why. Yes. Really. Okay. That's why.
I guarantee both of them are single mothers.
I stayed back there because I knew like it was something. Yeah. Yeah. Fear mama. Hey. Boo.
That's how you fuck. That's how you fuck their ass up. Real bad. Real bad.
To the wrong one, bro.
Y'all choosing, bro. Can I take?
So they just let this woman come into their establishment. If I own that chain of McDonald's, everybody getting fired because you fucking up my motherfucking money of people coming in this joint. And you just allow this woman to just come in. Now, and if it was all planned, cool, and, you know, the owner understands what's going on, cool. But if not, and you just allow this chick to come in my motherfucking establishment and get in front of my cashier or cash register?
Your order.
Your ice cream machine works.
No, my ice cream machine don't work.
Bitch, I ain't never got no ice cream.
What do you want, ma'am?
A Happy Meal.
Bitch, I gotta go home to my baby daddy.
Happy. I need a Happy Meal.
Cause you always happy, so you want
I'm a happy hoe. What's the toy though? What's the special toy?
A rose.
She said, I'm a happy hoe. They love the word hoe. We ain't even gotta call them hoes no more. They call themselves that.
Yeah, I guess you want a Happy Meal. That's only $2.99, so I guess that's the cheap section. So I'm gonna let you get a Happy Meal. What else?
I'll take cash out.
No, we don't take cash out. We take straight cash.
Let me call my trick.
Yeah, call your trick.
They love the cable.
No, we don't take cash out.
Yeah. I started this show with an idea of why women or black women are not taken as seriously as they should be. My daughters are going to grow up in this world and they're going to they're going to have to prove to their employers or people they're around that they're not Sukihana. And I hope it doesn't burden them too much. But that's the world we live in. I appreciate you guys coming through the video today. This is the 4th episode of Not a POOKIE podcast, and all other episodes will be uploaded tonight. You are not going to be able to watch those playback episodes after tonight. You are going to be able to watch those playback episodes in podcast form on the podcast tab, okay? So just letting y'all know. Go over to the podcast tab. Not a POOKIE podcast is going to be there on the it's going to be there. You're not going to be able to find this podcast. But I appreciate you guys coming through. I appreciate all of the people who came up and talked. Mr. Kevin C. We got let me see. Polite Citizen came up. Raw, she spoke her piece. My man, AJ's rants and reactions. Look, man, Joe's thoughts. All of y'all, appreciate y'all coming through to the channel tonight. And on top of that, man, I will be back up here tomorrow night. I'm trying to do this on a daily basis, baby, to get this audience up. And that's what we all about. Hey, this has been Not a POOKIE podcast, and I hope you guys enjoyed yourself, and I hope you learned some things as well. Look, at a POOKIE podcast, Not a POOKIE podcast is about masculinity reclaiming their natural throne. I appreciate you guys coming through, and stay unplugged from false narratives. I'm out. Peace. I praise you guys. Y'all are the real MVPs. I'm out. Peace.